This is a tornado warning.
For the last couple of hours, and again the storm has weakened. Now it is strong again. Tornado back on the ground, so that's why you need to stay in your shelter, especially anywhere from northwest of Lubbock all the way over towards the Reese Center, and that's particularly for shallow water. Even the Anton area, and folks in Smyre, just remain alert. But here's your Reese Village, remain alert. Shallow water, you're just north of that, but that circulation is kind of right here, so that's why we're trying to keep you up to date on what's going on between the red and the green, indicating that system, as Matt had mentioned, has intensified, tracking east-southeast, so it's still on a line to impact potentially the city of Lubbock, especially the north and northwestern areas. How strong it'll be or whether it's even on the ground is impossible to say really right now, but just to give you an idea of how it's tracking in. So if you're in Lubbock, and especially northwest, and especially around the areas of Reese and Smyre and back towards the northwest loop and the shallow water area, you've got to remain in your safe area. Keep your phone with you, the First Alert weather app, turn up your volume, make sure you're surrounded inside your house if possible. If you have a shelter, you want to be in there now because the storm system may be picking up a little bit and starting to move a little bit more. The storm is recycled, but the fact that it's merging, as Adam mentioned, together with other storms has changed things up a little bit, but the danger is still there. There's still the rotation there. Here's Smyre, here's a shallow water area, here is Carlisle. So again, you can see that overall rotation. This storm is a danger to Lubbock and especially north and northwest Lubbock through here along 114 back to the north and northwest, depending on the track of the storm and how it moves. So you've got to be in that safe area. They continue to report, at least at 7:23, and Matt mentioned that tornado back on the ground according to folks that are in that area watching that. Corey Buck of Emergency Management and Shallow Water is trying to get an update. So as soon as he gets an update from the Weather Service, we can pass that on to you. But again, obviously, folks, you need to stay in your safe areas. Continue to listen to us, continue to watch us, but remember those safety tips. You want to make sure that you've got walls around you. You want to make sure you've got a helmet that you can wear if you've got that. Make sure you've got protection from debris. You want to be in a closet, a bathroom towards the middle of the house. That's what you need to have with you, and have your phone with you as well. Get in the closet and just wait. Wait for time for this to pass as you listen to us. As far as the storm, still a danger, but it's still a little bit of a distance from the city of Lubbock and continues to make its way towards the city. Circulation is 8 miles southwest of shallow water. It looks like it's still in Hockley County, right along the Lubbock-Hockley County line. And Matt was showing that a few minutes ago to you. So you can see it's right in this area, really. This northeast of Smyre, southwest of shallow water. So it's just kind of parked in that region, may not be showing a lot of movement. You could tell from the clouds, and you've seen the track of the storm. It's really slowed down. We're just waiting to see if it's going to pick up, move a little bit more. We can watch and see as it eventually makes its way maybe across the county line, headed towards the city of Lubbock. Movement of the storm has been very slow at this point. Looks like folks are continuing to watch that. There's some very national severe storms lab folks that are watching this tornado and this storm system. Obviously, we've got Adam and Julio watching it as well, and Julio's back on probably the backside area near Levelland, so it continues to work its way slowly towards Lubbock. So this is not the time to go out to get photos, do anything such as that. You just need to stay where you are and stay safe. Keep the family with you and let folks know, again, that may not know about it in and around Lubbock. The warning does extend not only in the city of Lubbock down to close to Wolford. These storms have that history of turning a little bit more to the right, called right movers. They'll move to the east and then maybe to the southeast, then maybe back to the east and the southeast. So the polygon indicates that potential for the city here. This is the radar dome here. You look to the east, the warning technically probably doesn't include Ransom Canyon, Buffalo Springs yet. That's going to depend on what happens with this storm system as it continues to move into the western areas of Lubbock County, how it tracks towards our city. We're just trying to keep you informed of what we know so that you can keep your family, keep yourself well protected at this potential time. So it is working its way into that region. If we still have any visuals, we could go to the camera views and show you again. And this is going to be north of Reese Center, and we've still got the tree here for the marker and watching the storm. But look at that darkness coming in with all the showers and storms in the area, and the dust, and the fact there's rain there around and associated with this thunderstorm makes it very difficult to see. But Adam's in a very good position to watch that, and he will move when he thinks it's necessary to stay safe. A level land view here, as again, not much to look at other than the storms in the general area from Julio, and then a look here at Hockley County, and again, looking, I believe this may be KFDA on that, the rotation and stuff there, Matt.
Yeah, let's go to a live view 4, take that live. They are along Highway 114 right now, looking back toward, you can see the funnel forming once again. This is probably a better vantage point we have, and it actually looks like two different areas. You can see the funnel forming right there to the ground. They are just off of Highway 114, either in western Lubbock or eastern Hockley County. They're right there along the county line. And you can see that funnel is forming once again. And that's the one spot right there, but noting a second spot on the left right here where it looks like we could be seeing another funnel trying to form as well. And we've seen that over the past little while here, where this storm has produced two different either funnels or two tornadoes potentially at the same time. So this is what and we're just going to keep this right here to watch in progress. I'm actually watching two different funnels develop right here. Let's see, it looks like that leftmost part of the storm is actually a bit more intense, and you can sometimes get this where the parent tornado is the larger one that develops, then you get another area of rotation onto the other side right there. So that funnel is actually strengthening, and it looks like, I was going to say that the area of condensation on the right side was trying to weaken, I was going to say, but it looks like it's still there. But that definitely looks like a strengthening and a funnel that's getting larger here. Again, we are just off of Highway 114, right along the Hockley, Lubbock County line, where that storm has once again really increased on it. We can go back to live view 1 to show Adam's perspective near Reese Center, and the thunderstorm that is his perspective right here, also noting on the right side of the screen, seeing actually, this is good, keeping it right here with live view 4. You can see that second funnel forming, and you can see the condensation, the funnel making its way down to the ground right there. So this shows just the strength of this storm and why, if you're in western and northwestern Lubbock County in particular, you need to take this storm seriously. I really can't see much from our vantage point right here. That's not to say that this funnel is not down to the ground. Just the way that it lowered all the way down, that could still be a funnel on the left side and on the right side. So it could be two different areas of rotation that we're watching right here. Again, this is on the Lubbock-Hockley County line. So this is one storm this one storm we're watching right here. We'll get to new information on the next storm farther back to the west as well. But at this point, looks like we have two tornadoes in progress on this. Is just to the northwest of Reese Center. We're talking just a few miles west-northwest of Reese Center is where we're seeing the cycling really of this storm, of those two separate tornadoes. And that just shows the strength of this storm and also the environment we have, that this thunderstorm could maintain itself for hours like it has, and it continues to cycle on through. Adam's going to clear out to get to a safer location as he moves on out. And This looks like more on the left side of the screen, John, is where I think we're seeing the tornado still on the ground. I think that tornado on the right side may have lifted. Still looks like a funnel. Kind of difficult to make out here, but again, it's difficult. But this just shows, John, the fact that we had two tornadoes in progress at the same time. The sheer strength of this storm.
The severe storm labs, you probably saw that, did report two tornadoes earlier, but I think like you, it looks like the one on the other side has dissipated or it's being covered up by the moisture there. But this is our main one we're so concerned with. We've had those reports, and again, this is generally about 3.5 miles northwest of Reese Center. That's the latest information I see associated with this. And once again, National Severe Storms Lab unit out there watching this very closely. But look at the intensity, look at the dust and dirt in there. That again is going to add to the fact that it's getting dark because of all the storms, and the intensification of this tornado and storm system makes it very difficult to see where it is, or if there's actually a second one around that, which would not be that unusual with the storm this intense. But this is the stronger part right here. It appears to be the strong. They're going to do issuing the tornado warning again for Lubbock County and for portions of the city. So that's to re-emphasize the Weather Service being very cautious, wants people like our viewers like you to stay in your safe area. Don't be going outside. Don't try to go video or do anything like that. Stay where you are and stay safe. So here's a view from West Lubbock, and you can see what's going on near Levelland. And I'll step back just a little bit on that so you can see that a little bit better. We may have lost the video connection with that. Is that Julio?
Yeah, that's Julio and Chase, and they are coming back in toward Lubbock on 1585. Looks like that.
This is a tornado warning.
Distance there between the ground without having to connect, but that's a good time for me to mention that if you see the dust, that's what we look for. That way you know you've got a tornado on the ground. If you just look at the funnel like that one, you may think, well, it's not connected, but when you get closer and you can actually see the dirt, then you know the funnel is connected and it's a tornado when it hits the ground with that funnel. So again, the warning sirens may go off once again here in Lubbock. We're with Adam. Want to be a little safer. Find a good vantage point. He's still north of Reese Center, so folks, you need to remain alert. This is generally 3.5. The last reports at 7:33 that it was about 3.5 miles northwest of Reese Center. So again, yes, this is a confirmed tornado. The National Weather Service is talking back and forth and they will be reissuing that warning for Lubbock simply for the fact that we've had that storm intensify and is producing a tornado once again, that area west and northwest of the city of Lubbock. It's not a direct threat now, but if it continues on an east or a southeast track, it will become a threat to the city. So at this distance, hard to tell much at all, especially with the darkness and stuff, but as soon as Adam gets in a better position, he'll be able to give us an idea of what's going on. But at least we've got the resources of the Severe Storms Lab out closer to that tornado, keeping an eye on it, in addition to the fact there's some other chasers as well. So he'll be changing his direction and position here as he's traveling, but we are watching that storm very closely north of Reese Center. Look at the dust associated with it. That's going to make it difficult to particular tornado and storm system that has happened earlier in the Cochran and Hockley County areas when the dust and the moisture combine. That makes it difficult to see these storms. And we're going to go back to radar. Thanks, Dimitri. But again, warning still in effect, obviously, for the city of Lubbock. There's your rotation. And again, initially sighted northwest of Reese. This is Reese Village right here, northwest. That is tracking east. It is still coming in our direction. You can see storm systems merging there. You can see some hail, obviously, back well northwest of Smyre, but our primary concern is where the tornado is and the direction of that tornado as it moves east. And let's see here. Looks like chaser spotter reports indicate tornadoes may have dissipated, or at least they're not visible, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, due to the dust and precipitation restrictions. But you can see as Shania backs it up and she moves that velocity here. Look at the rotate, the bright indications there. There may be some strong winds coming out around that circulation there, and it does show the circulation still strong, but there may be some very intense winds coming towards 114 in the Carlisle area. In addition to the fact the storm again has produced tornadoes frequently since it started along the Texas-New Mexico line made its way east and southeast slowly, dumping very heavy rainfall. That's going to be another flooding issue for later on this evening for areas north and northwest. But storm still tracking very close to Carlisle. You need to be in your safe area. City of Lubbock, you just need to be in your safe area at this point. And that extends all the way up to the airport, all the way to the north just a little bit, at least up towards Cotton Center, Hale Center. There's New Deal as well. Folks, I know you're further north, you're probably in a safe zone, but I just want you to be aware of it. The tornado warning does extend all the way up almost to Antina along 84. Obviously, it includes shallow water. New Deal includes the city of Lubbock. Ends technically at this point just west of Idalou and just west of Ransom Canyon, but it does include the Woodrow area. They've extended it south a little bit. The storm is doing what is typical. It's turning a little more southeast, and that means it's a right mover, so the storm is dropping a little bit more south and east as it travels towards the city, and it's towards the Reese Village area now, so you need to be in your safe area at this time. You can see over around Levelland, still moderate to heavy thunderstorms there, all the way back around the Pettit community. Focus continues to be on the tornado, and I continue to get information here. We've got Adam out chasing. We've got another storm chaser. We've got Julio out on 114 near Levelland, headed this way. He'll be headed back closer to give us another perspective. Unless we lose our sunlight or the storms create so much darkness, we may not get a lot out of the visuals. So it's going to be in a case of watching more for radar and the information we get from people that are able to get close to it. Circulation is now near west of Reese Center by about 1 mile. So the storm has moved a little bit east-southeast. So it's maybe a mile from Reese Center. So that storm is still in strong circulation, may or may not be producing a tornado. It has produced tornadoes. They have come down and they have returned again, as we saw a few minutes ago. We did have potentially 2 at one point rotating around each other, but during the Reese Village area, you definitely need to be in your safe area. That's along 179, Reese Village, and 114 as well. Some of the other markers here, obviously Research Boulevard. Here's Reese Village. Storms getting very close to that community. Yes, Matt.
Yeah, I just want to read the text of, like you just showed right there, John, that strong rotation, just to know what the tornado warning includes. And the tornado sirens are going off here in Lubbock. You may remember at the end of last May, I think it was May 31st, that Friday night, the warning sounded for the straight line wind. But this is the first time for a tornado we've had the tornado warning sirens go off in Lubbock since they were installed. The National Weather Service in Lubbock has issued a tornado warning for western Lubbock County and east central Hockley County until 8:45. At 7:38 p.m., a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Reese Center, or 11 miles west of Lubbock, moving southeast at 10 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. So it's getting more difficult with it getting darker and with this time of night to be able to make out the tornado. But based on what we are still seeing from many chasers out there and the radar, we are still seeing that strong rotation and still seeing the signs of a significant tornado near Reese Center. Let's go to some of the tower cams here, because I want to set the scene for what we do have and what we don't have. Now, most of the city of Lubbock is included under this tornado warning. This is the perspective from 56th and Avenue A. We're looking back to the west. The storm itself and the tornado is still west of Lubbock. The reason Lubbock is included in this warning is giving you the heads up. We have a tornado just west of town moving toward the city. So if you're in the tornado warning area, you need to be aware of that. The greatest danger right now is near Reese Center and over West Lubbock. Let's go to a couple of the other perspectives right here. 98th and University. We're looking back to the northwest, and actually the storm is getting close enough now that we may be able to make out the structure of the storm in addition to what the chasers have right here. So that's 98th and University. Let's go down 98th Street to 98th and Slide. We're looking west here from First Bank and Trust, so we can tell you where the storm is and where it isn't. It is not over like south or central or east Lubbock. It's over west Lubbock. And, information will start streaming in very fast with something like this. So we go to confirmed sources when we have that. Shania has information confirmed from emergency management in Hockley County with what this storm has done. Shania?
That's right, Matt. We did get a report from emergency management in Hockley County, Cole Kirkland. Tornado hit a structure, 6874 PR Prairie Lane, and apparently one person has been injured from that. So keep that in mind. Again, that was from Hockley County, Cole Kirkland. So likely most of the activity that we've been talking about near that county line, right next to Hockley County and Lubbock County, is likely where that injury was taking place. Zooming in on radar, mainly for this specific area right outside or off to the west of Reese Village, east of the Smyer area, is likely where they're referring to. Again, that specific area, 6874 PR Prairie Lane, one injury confirmed there. Matt?
Okay, thank you much, Shania. So let's go back to a couple of the chase units out to the west. We can look at what Adam has right here. He's kind of cycled back around. He's keeping a close eye on it, but he is also going to stay in a safe place as this thunderstorm moves off to the east. The one thing we've noticed is it kind of goes through these cycles. So what Adam has noticed, whereas just a few minutes ago we had the confirmed tornado near Reese Center, we're not quite seeing it. And you can see right there, he's at the railroad track. So he's right there along 179 over on the western side of the city. We're occasionally going to see potentially some of these funnels come down from the storm. We can go to the streaming computer, and I can give you the perspective of what this storm is doing over the last couple of scans. So last tornado report here just a few minutes ago, note how tight the rotation was here, right near Reese Center. Last few scans, it's not quite as tight. In fact, it looks like an outflow, kind of the wind has been kicked out just a bit here on that latest scan. It's still rotating, maybe not quite as strong as a few minutes ago, but it's done that a couple of different times. Adam, what are you seeing? The storm has cycled through a few different times. What are you seeing out there over West Lubbock County?
I'm also noticing that it's starting to kick out some pretty good outflow, which I think right now in this evolution of the storm, if we can get some good outflow generated, maybe they'll suck in some of that colder air and kind of help to kind of temper itself. But one thing I want to point out, Matt, real quick, was this is approaching the city of Lubbock. This is probably one of the more dangerous storms to approach the city of Lubbock in a number of years. This thunderstorm is producing cloud-to-ground lightning way ahead of it right now. I've already seen a couple strikes out my windshield. If you're outside and you're trying to watch the storm, believe me, I've been there. I understand. I'm a storm watcher too, obviously. Just make sure you're doing it safely, because cloud-to-ground lightning is you don't put emergency personnel to have to come in danger to have to come help you because you got struck by lightning by not being in the safe place.
Okay, thanks, Adam. So that is latest update here, watching the storm here over the western side of the city. And again, the tornado warning continues here, John, for the city of Lubbock. Yeah. We're hoping that that rotation kind of stretches out and continues to weaken just a bit as it enters now the west.
This is David Utton in the Stormwatch America Command Center in Atlanta. It's 8:48 Eastern Time. We're live with continuing coverage of a tornado threatening the city of downtown Lubbock, Texas at this time. Let's go back to channel 11 in Lubbock for the very latest.
Pretty much along 19th Street over West Lubbock, and this is a different vantage point. This is where we've spotted the tornado off and on in West Lubbock County. It's getting more difficult here as it's getting darker to actually make out if the tornado is still on the ground. You can see the businesses that are right in front right here. This is along 19th Street as you get into the western side of the city of Lubbock, and where 114 turns into West 19th Street. So if nothing else, this is going to bring strong wind and hail as it moves into the city of Lubbock. But when we say the rotation is weakened, it's weakened some from what was, really significant.
At 7:38 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Reese Center, or 11 miles west of Lubbock, Texas, moving to the southeast at 10 miles per hour. This is a confirmed tornado warning for the city of Lubbock, Texas.
just west of Lubbock, close to recenter. The rainfall has moved into Lubbock, but the storm itself has actually slowed down, or I should say the tornado itself has slowed down a bit as it's moved this way. So it looks like that could be a funnel lowering once again here over the western side of the city, John. So we've got multiple vantage points on it. This is Julio. They are looking up 168. Look at all that dust. That's what's going to make it difficult to be able to see the storm's progress. And latest indication has been that the storm itself is kind of moving a little bit farther, more of a southeasterly jog, like John had mentioned it might do, which is why so much of the city is covered with this warning. But that is the perspective right there. They're at 1585 and 168. Looking north into the storm here near the Hockley-Lubbock County line. So we're definitely still watching a storm. Let's go back to Live View 1. And
this is headed toward Texas Tech University. You need to take tornado precautions immediately. A tornado is on the ground headed your way. You live in downtown Lubbock, Texas. Get to a underground, if possible, basement center part of your house immediately.
This storm has been very hard to monitor, really, because of the fact that it'll produce a tornado, then it weakens and it recycles. It's very common to do that. I do want to mention a couple of things now. The circulation has weakened some. The Smyre Mesonet site reported a wind gust of 95 miles an hour. That was at 740. Reese Center had a wind gust of 69 miles an hour, and that was at 741. That's what we were looking at earlier on velocity with that storm system, vorticity, pardon me, coming down, that strong air coming outflow from there. And so hopefully, as Adam mentioned, maybe there'll be some changes in the structure of storm. That has not happened yet. You still need to stay where you are. Did you notice a lot of the traffic on the roadways? This is not the time to be getting out and trying to get video or pictures or to look at this. This is the time to stay at home with your family, keep yourself safe. There's enough traffic out there, and there's storm chasers watching these storms as well. We're coming back to radar. And again, warning still in effect. Obviously, the sirens were resounded with the fact that the storm had intensified again, was producing at least one, maybe two tornadoes, did cause some damage to our west, and is now moving back to the southeast. So this is Carlisle located here. There's Smyre, so it's along 114, but it has tracked and it's built a little bit further southeast, edging a little bit closer to Wolford as far as the thunderstorm activity. And again, you still see some brightness indicated here. That could be the surge of wind with it. There's still some rotation, obviously, with the red, but that may indicate there's still some very strong winds coming out of that system, gusting up to maybe near 100 miles an hour, at least earlier, at least anywhere from 50 to 70 miles an hour right now. And if you'll notice, I asked Shania just to make short tracks on this so you can see where rotation is about 3 miles from maybe the west loop. This is kind of an estimate there. Or, pardon me. So don't pay any attention to the speed of 3 miles an hour, but this shows that maybe about 5 miles from the west loop to where most of the circulation is, just to give you an idea of how close that storm is. Why we want you to stay where you are. And again, you can see how the storm is building down. It's now southwest of Wolford. The rain moving into the city. We mentioned that several times, but what we're concerned with is the lightning, if you're out and about, which you shouldn't be, and also the fact that the tornado is still producing occasionally with the storm system, with the circulation. Look at the lightning intensity there, and again, reaching out from that storm. So Lubbock remains under this tornado warning right now. Thanks. That's Shania. Let's see. Oh, they're now reporting a tornado right over Reese Center. Thanks there, Shania. That just came in from the National Weather Service. So that means the circulation would be right over the Reese Center at this point, and a tornado at Reese Center. So we don't know any additional information than that, but look at the strong winds indicated, the bright colors with that, and the rotation. So according to the National Weather Service, tornado over Reese Center. Storm is still moving east and southeast. That's basically taking it just north of 114. So if you live in this area, 13th Street to 4th Street, down to 114, even down to about 34th, stay where you are. You need to stay in a safe area. Look at the bright colors indicating, again, the system may be recycling and it may be intensifying. These could be the strong winds, strong outflow type winds up to 95 miles an hour. Overall, dangerous situation. just north. It's in the Reese Center area. That means it's going to be tracking east and southeast. And we come back towards the loop. Here is Carlisle, and there's 34th Street, just giving you some boundaries here, and there's Alcove. Reese Center again, Smyer just reported a wind gust 109 miles an hour. The Lubbock National Weather Service doing an excellent job, by the way. Tornado over Reese Center. Smyer had a wind gust of 109 miles an hour. Reese Center had a gust just now of 69 miles an hour. So again, that's what's taking place in the Reese Center area. There's where we're located. That's where the core of this storm is as far as where the tornado would be. The strongest winds along 114. Those winds will obviously spread out. Looks like circulation of concern now is about a mile southeast of Reese Center. So that's going to put it, as I mentioned, right around Carlisle. Here's Reese Village. There's your general circulation, just to give you an idea. There's 4th Street. So here we are along 114, and here we are Farmer Market Road 179. That storm is tracking just along that. Sorry, Tony, I didn't understand you. All right. All right. So we're on 1294 West Lubbock. I'm talking to Tony, that's our producer. That's who we're talking to. Matt and I are talking to, and Chennai as well. So you can see looking out to the west. Now this is a live view out to the west, watching. You have to watch for lightning, but of course we have the buildings in the way here to see if you could see anything on the ground other than the clouds and obviously the heavy rainfall. Matt mentioned that earlier. Obviously you get in the darker time period, storm coming in, we're approaching sunset, makes it very difficult to track where the storm is.
Just join us as Stormwatch America's continuing coverage of a weather emergency right now in Lubbock, Texas. A large, extremely dangerous tornado is on the ground and is headed to the southeast at 10 miles per hour toward the downtown Lubbock, Texas area. If you're in these areas, please take shelter immediately. Basement, center part of your house.
Again, of those guides, and I'll let Chennai go over that right quick.
Yeah, just still emphasizing you're trying to be in the center of whatever home or building that you're in right now. Want to make sure you're at the lowest point in the building as well. So if you have a basement or a storm shelter, that's actually where you want to be. The storm shelter is further away, not necessarily necessary to do that. Just stay in the center of the home or the building. You also want to be at the lowest point, as close to the ground as you possibly can be. And then finally, covering yourself, making sure that you have blankets, pillows, something cushiony over yourself in case that tornado does make its way through your building and debris starts flying. A lot of injuries and deaths are associated with debris with tornadoes, so that's what you're trying to avoid when you're covering yourself. And of course, staying away from windows, staying away from any type of glass that could potentially break, glass shards being thrown around. We already had that one report of the injury that was west of Reese Village and east of the Smyer area. So this tornado is, of course, obviously causing damage within these areas. So just keep those things in mind. You're trying to get to the lowest point, be in the center of the building, away from windows, close to walls, and continuing to cover yourself in case there is that flying debris. John?
There, Shania, I appreciate that. About a mile southeast of Reese Center. So again, there's Levelland, here's Smyer, here's Carlisle. This is where the circulation, you can see it there briefly. Now we have the heavy rain moving into Wolford, west and southwest Lubbock. Anywhere in this area where the red indicates the tornado warning, you need to be in shelter right now. Yeah, Matt?
Yeah, let's go to the streaming. Let's go to the, let's see. Oh, let me grab a different battery. I got one right here.
All right, let me mention again that the base velocity or wind speeds are averaging 70, 80, if not stronger. We have Matt second to change out his mic. You ready there, Mike?
Yeah,
Matt? All
yeah.
right.
I think got the battery up now. So I want to let's go to the streaming computer. I want to let everyone know within the polygon here, all of Lubbock, to be taking shelter because of the potential for the kind of wind that we just were talking about. 70-mile-per-hour gust clocked at Reese Center, Smyer to 109 miles per hour. So even if you're not where the tornado is, which is up here, and it's kind of been last couple of scans here have come down just ever so slightly, but the tornado rotation is moving toward the West Loop near 19th and 4th Street on northwest Lubbock, but that strong wind is coming all the way down, being surged out from the tornado. That rear flank downdraft that's being kicked out, that's going to bring the potential for 70, 80, maybe 90-mile-per-hour wind over much of west and southwest Lubbock. So that is going to be some very strong wind away from the tornado that will be a concern. Let's go back to a live view 4 and show our vantage point right there. This is looking back toward the storm again. The problem is with storm chasing out in rural areas, you know, you can go north, south, east, and west. Here within the city, it's going to be a lot more difficult to try to just navigate because we have so much traffic out there. If you know someone who's driving right now, call them up, tell them get off the road. They do not need to be driving in Lubbock right now with this tornado moving into the northwestern side of the city. They're on the South Loop right here. You can see they just went over the bridge there at Indiana. The dark sky that is moving in here toward the city. Let's go to the 98th Street camera and give you a perspective of what's moving in. A lot of the strong wind is moving in toward Lubbock right now, but the main concern for the tornado, and you hear the tornado sirens going off in Lubbock, that's going to be over northwest Lubbock. And really the northwestern part of the city is the most strongest rotation from the tornado itself, but that wind threat is going to be across so much of the city that is going to be an issue. When it kicks up like that, even away from the tornado, when you get wind of 70, 80 miles per hour, that can cause damage as well. So this is something that we're watching as it continues to move to the east. This is a live look here from 98th and University. Let's go to 98th and Slide and show you a little bit farther west. But at this point, you can see the wind actually isn't quite all that strong just yet here at 98th and Slide as we're watching the storm move in. But our greatest concern for the tornado rotation is over the west and northwest loop right now. Latest indications are if it's a good sign here, at least the last couple of minutes, that the rotation has gotten a little bit broader. If we go back to the streaming computer, I can show you that rotation is now moving to the northwest loop right now. So it's still a dangerous storm. This is still a storm that you need to take shelter from over northwest Lubbock, but at least that's a good sign that the rotation may have weakened just a bit. But you see this pink polygon on this map. That's because it is a confirmed tornado warning. That's why it's showing up as purple right here. Need to take this seriously. Respect the polygon, get to your safe place, because in addition to the tornado threat over northwest Lubbock, much of the city has that strong wind threat as it's moving in, and the rain is starting to pick up here in South Lubbock right now. John?
Thanks, there, Matt. And unfortunately, just got an update, and you may be seeing this from the Weather Service. Not seeing strong rotation at this time, but they're monitoring it very closely. They're going to say radar indicated for the tornado warning. So it's still a tornado warning, still could produce a tornado. Now they're not seeing strong rotation, but obviously those rear flank winds are very intense, as Matt had mentioned a few minutes ago, and you've been looking at for the last 30 to 40 minutes. Carlisle area sweeping into southwest Lubbock along Loop 327, speeds of at least anywhere from 50 to 80 miles an hour. They've gusted as high as 100 plus at times. In addition, there may still be some large hail, or this may be redeveloping back here in the area south of 114 and north and northwest of Wolford as that storm gradually rotates down. And Shania gave us a great indicator here. Look at the large hail east of Smyre back to the northwest of the Wolford area. Some fairly large hail in shallow water along Highway 84. You can see how that complex is gradually working its way. As you know, obviously we got rain here in Lubbock, so we could see, in addition to the fact we're going to have some strong winds with the system coming in, we may have some areas get some large hail, particularly the west and southwestern portion portions of Lubbock County and the city of Lubbock possibly, but definitely looks like some of that hail is rotating around, headed towards the Wolforth community. That's the secondary concern. Number one concern, stay where you are. Don't get out. Don't drive. Just wait for this system to pass by. It's slowly beginning to make its way a little more consistently, at least at this point. Let's see. Despite no current reports, the Weather Service is saying what I just told you. In and around Lubbock, you need to stay in shelter, and that includes Woodrow and the Wolforth community as well. So there's the storm. You can still see some circulation, but it's not as tight or not as strong, at least right now, but that may change, Matt.
Yeah, and we mentioned even for South Lubbock taking shelter, you just have a minute or two, but if you live in South Lubbock, and really this would be Southwest Lubbock, want to get to a shelter, Lubbock Cooper has opened up the Liberty High School gym for shelter. I imagine they would actually go adjacent to the gym, not the large, span structure, but that is one spot that'll be open up for folks there at the newer Lubbock Cooper High School, Liberty High School. That shelter is open. So, and that's just one location, but you have to be able to get there in a few minutes because we do not want people trying to drive through this thunderstorm right now. That's why we have repositioned all of our storm units farther ahead of the storm. We're not going to have them go into the storm. Looking at
winds are reported 109 miles per hour now near Lubbock, Texas. This is a very dangerous storm. Even if you're outside of the tornado, please take shelter underground, basement, center part of your house, immediately away from windows.
Rotation is what we were seeing just a few minutes ago, so hopefully this winds up as just a severe storm that moves through the city and weakens from what it has been over the past couple of hours. One issue, and I mentioned, if you know somebody driving right now, calling them to try to let them know, it could become an issue that you might not be able to call them or you might not be able to text them. I was trying to text my wife just now, about getting in the closet and staying safe, and for a while it just would not connect. It just went through. That's going to happen when you get a storm like this coming through, that sometimes you'll have communication issues with it. What a way for our 15th anniversary to be celebrated here. But watching the storm as it moves here into Lubbock, getting pretty good definition on the storm. We'll go back to the, we're looking due north here from 98 and University right now. At this point, we've not had reports over the last few minutes of it producing a tornado, and we can isolate exactly where it is, although we're seeing the indication here probably tightening up just a little bit. Let's go back to the streaming computer. That way we can isolate exactly where the strongest rotation will be. So it's moving over northwest into the central loop itself right now. The bright green you see, that is strong, strong wind. So it is getting windy over southwest Lubbock all the way down to 1585. It's windy. The good news is we're not seeing the same level of rotation as we saw. Let's step this back here to last hour. This was at 752, 753. You can see really strong rotation just east of recenter. That was entering the northwest loop. Last few scans have come down a bit. It is still a rotating storm, but thankfully, John, we're not seeing it quite as strong, although it looks like on the backside of the storm, maybe seeing some new rotation here that is over northwest Lubbock. That's going to be out kind of toward Milwaukee and Erskine right there. And the Weather Service also noting that the potential for maybe a new circulation center showing up right there. Let's go back to we'll go back to the 98th Street camera. And since the storm itself is over the loop right now, this is the vantage point from, we're looking due west along 98th Street. So let's go back as the storm is moving right over the middle of the city right here. And if nothing else, John, this is still a storm. Again, it's starting to rain heavy here in Lubbock. We're getting the gusty wind, but the greatest rotation concern right now is actually over the northwest part of the city. John?
All right, thanks, Matt. And again, I'm glad you caught that new circulation developing. That's what the Weather Service, as you mentioned, Erskine and Milwaukee, northwest Lubbock. Folks need to just stay home, as we've emphasized for the last hour. Safest thing you can do. We did get a report from the Weather Service, flash flood warnings coming out for Lubbock County. Very heavy rainfall is a reason for that. Also, a vehicle was struck apparently by lightning on Highway 84 near the community of Anton, and there has been one injury there. Usually, if you're in a car, you're going to be relatively safe if you're struck by lightning, but they have had an injury there. And we'll, as soon as we have more information on that, obviously we'll add that. But looks like potential for hail
Let's
has
stay with the
increased
98th
to
Street
tennis
camera.
balls.
Let's
All
stay
right,
with this camera for just a second here.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt, John. I just wanted to keep this visual here while you were talking.
All right, thanks. I was looking, I thought, oh, you may still have seen something here, but you can see the intense rainfall, obviously, over the central and western areas of the city of Lubbock. It looks like we may get some hail size up to tennis ball size for Hockley and Lubbock County storm. That wouldn't surprise me. A few minutes ago, you saw the hail headed for the Wolford area, so that's probably southwest Lubbock and back over in the Hockley County area. And I can hear there may be some hailstones hitting the top of our roof here, and it looks like, sounds like it's beginning to increase a little bit. And you can see the cloud movements with the overall movement of that storm moving through. So large hail is going to be very likely. Still have some strong wind potential with this storm moving into Lubbock. Some heavy rainfall. They've issued a flash flood warning. As far as a tornado on the ground, no recent reports of that going on. And we've been watching the cameras and such, and I'm going to look down here and see. Could we go to 56th, maybe in Avenue A? Or are you about to move the camera, Matt?
No, that's good to go to the Avenue 8 camera.
Yeah,
We're
let's
starting to
take a
get the
look at
rain
that. You see
there.
how intense.
And
That's
the Weather
the-
Service is mentioning the potential for up to tennis ball size hail with this storm.
Oh, that is true. And look at that intense rain in that area and where it tapers off here. Intense lightning. Adam had mentioned that with this storm coming into the city. That will still continue around. Looks like $1.25 size hail, 26th and Milwaukee. So there's definitely some large hail hitting parts of West Lubbock, northwest Lubbock, and even south and southwest Lubbock, getting some of that larger hail. Still some traffic on the highways. I hope that's people just passing through to get away from the storm. You do not need to be out driving at this particular point. You need to stay in your safe area inside your house, a closet, bathroom, hallway, basement is the best thing. If you have a cellar, hopefully you're already in that cellar. You need to get in the cellars well ahead of time before the storm gets there. But you can see some interstate traffic here. Again, intense rainfall over the city, lightning occurring in the background. Last thing has been mostly hail reports. I haven't seen anything new about any tornado development or funnel cloud development, but very hard to tell with this much rainfall. Again, the lightning will help out some. Radar, obviously, as you look at velocity, will help out some. And again, in general, looks like just heavy rainfall, a severe thunderstorm moving through Lubbock. We still have the tornado warning in effect at this point. According to Weather Service, Lubbock Christian has reported a wind of 66 miles an hour, and that occurred at about 5 minutes ago at 8:05. Very strong winds with the storm, some areas of large hail. Looks like the strongest part of the storm so far has impacted more of West Lubbock and northwest Lubbock and maybe the Wolford area to the southwest of the city, but intense rainfall there. I'm not so sure about the other tower cams. 98 doesn't look that much better than what we've got right now on Avenue A. We could go to the First Bank and Trust camera, though, and you can see some very intense rainfall occurring there. This is 98th and Slide, and Matt is swinging that camera around. Extremely heavy rainfall. They've issued, obviously, a flash flood warning for the city, but just remember to stay in your safe place. Fortunately, no current knowledge or information about tornadoes with the storm as it moves over the city. The best thing you can do is continue to stay where you are and keep your phone and a portable charger handy with you and a flashlight. Now that we're approaching it getting so dark and with the storm coming over, we've had some very strong winds. We'll still continue to get those as that storm moves over the city. You can expect that. You may encounter some power outages. That's why you need to have the flashlight with you, something to give you a little illumination if you lose your lights and stuff. But stay in your safe area. That's the best thing that you can do at this point. You see the tower cam shaking at First Bank and Trust. So intense rainfall. Hopefully that is all that's associated with this, other than unfortunately the large hail and the strong winds, but nothing tornadic indicated. Let's see. And now this just came in 8:11 right now from the Weather Service. We've talked about this, the strong surge of severe winds moving southeast across the west side of Lubbock toward Wolford. We looked at that a few minutes ago on radar, as a matter of fact. We might be able to see that again. I know the Weather Service has a picture for us to look at here in the station, but we can go back to Max 1. and show radar. And again, there's that area of hail, but also the very strong winds working their way around the southwest part of the city. So that's where those strong winds are coming from, and that's working its way towards the areas. In fact, it'll be anywhere from down around Wolford, may impact the Meta area. They're strong enough they may impact New Home, and those wind speeds, just estimate probably 50 to 80 miles an hour, and so maybe in the Ropesville area. So here's Wolford. Look at that patch indicating the very strong winds there. That is moving generally southeast, so those are going to impact not only Wolford, which is what's going on now. That's probably going to cause some power outages. May likely continue down along Interstate and Highway 87, the Woodrow area, might extend down as far south as Ropesville. The green indicating the flash flood warning that covers the city. And unfortunately, it sounds like the hail may be getting a little larger here at the station on our roof, but we'll wait and see. A lot of reports coming into the National Weather Service, and maybe some baseball-sized hail with this storm rolling in. I still think that's particularly where the winds are the strongest, and again, that's the west loop along 327 back to Wolford and back down to Woodrow, but we're located right here, and we can hear some of the large hail right now, so I hope I don't have to file another claim. I did that a couple of years ago when the hailstorm hit us right here. Tornado warning, though, is still in effect, so you need to stay in a safe shelter, if nothing else, for the strong winds coming through, the power outages that might occur, the intense rainfall. The storm is literally coming over Lubbock at this point. And look at that. Rare to see the levels of the red levels indicating potentially up to baseball-sized hail in the Wolford area, 327. Maybe even here. It doesn't indicate it here. This tracker may be a few minutes behind on what's really happening, but it does give you an idea of how wide the band of hail is with that, and those winds. It could be gusting 50 to 80 miles an hour. Some heavy rain still in shallow water. That was the last reports of the tornado. And you can see heavy rain all the way down to Carlisle, Wolford, and 327, and right along South Loop 289. And I knew I should have driven my other car over to Matt and Shania. Not the one I brought tonight.
Yeah, let's go to Avenue A camera, and I just want to show the green haze that you see right here, and I'm going to try to shield as much as I can right here. I'm trying to see where Live View 3 is getting beat. They're over somewhere within Lubbock right now, South Lubbock it looks like, but and in fact, everybody in
I don't have my key.
and everybody in the newsroom get out just because the hail threat. So making sure that the folks are getting out of the newsroom, because we have windows at the very top of the newsroom here. This is the perspective here from, let me see, latest. That's Julio. He's trying to make out that building exactly where it is, but you can see golf ball, but likely upwards of baseball, potentially larger than that hail moving over the city right now. Let's go back to Max 2, and I want to show you exactly where. The good news is once the hail passes, it's going to get quieter pretty quickly. So we're seeing the largest hail indications, and I apologize for the sound. It was just how loud it is in the studio right now. The largest indications of hail is right there is Memphis, Indiana, toward University. And remember, radar takes a scan, and the storm is still moving. So we are here at 98th and University, and right about on the, let me see if I can get an arrow to draw in here real quick. We are right here at 98th and University, so we're getting the worst of it right now. Up to tennis ball size hail is being reported within this core that is moving over South Lubbock, stretching roughly from the South Loop to, and it's actually not that large just yet, about quarter size is what Shania has. that she just brought in from outside. But the absolute largest hail is over South Lubbock. Let's go back to the Avenue 8 tower cam. Often indicative of hail-producing storm is the green hue that you see right there. Let's go to First Bank and Trust at 98th and Slide. And you can just see how, I mean, there's hardly anything that you can make out from these different camera perspectives. That is just how heavily it is falling right now. So the hail is over South Lubbock. Again, I'm going to try to talk as loudly as I can here into the microphone held right up to my mouth. So this is 98th and Slide. You can't see a thing here. Let's go to 98th and University, which is where we are right now. And this is very large hail that is falling over. I'm trying to see if I can even reposition the camera to give you a perspective as far as I mean, you can't see a thing. We're trying to look straight down to the base of the tower here at 98th and University. Let me look back. Our building is right there. You can't make it out about 1,000 feet away with the very, very large hail. But in addition to the hail threat that we have right now, let's go back to Max 2, and I do want to show you here, golf ball size hail just came in at 119th in Frankfurt, but on Max 2, the hail is falling over South Lubbock right now, but we are still noting some rotation that is over the northwest side of the city, and actually passing pretty close to central Lubbock, like the Tech Terrace neighborhood and near Texas Tech. That's where we're noting on Max right here. Let's go over to the streaming computer, and I want to show you where that, if we can, to the streaming computer to show where the rotation is. Thankfully, it is not like what we saw here earlier when it was west of Lubbock, when we know it did produce a tornado. But we are noting at least still somewhat of a rotation going from Texas Tech toward downtown, so there is still some rotation noted right here. That's why a tornado warning continues here. Just a few minutes ago at 8:13, Weather Service updated a tornado warning remains in effect until 8:45 for western Lubbock and east central Hockley counties. At 8:12, a storm capable of producing a tornado is over Texas Tech University or over central part of Lubbock, moving east at 25. And then there are indications of wind-driven large hail near Wolfforth, and we certainly have that right here. So the question, like my wife Taylor was asking, like, should I stay in the closet? You want to stay, even though the tornado threat is over central Lubbock. We can go to, let's go to live view 3. The wind and the hail is still so strong, you don't want to be trying to ride this storm out just looking out the window, because the wind that we've had up there at 80 to 90 miles per hour, when it's throwing golf ball size hail, that can cause damage as well. So that is still a very dangerous storm. So the tornado warning continues for all of Lubbock, but really want to emphasize that the hail threat is over South Lubbock and the tornado threat is over the central part of the city, as that's moving off to the east. That is, you know, kind of a 1-2 punch as far as what we're seeing across our area. We can go to First Bank and Trust now and to show that at least we can see a little bit on First Bank, but it certainly is not very much at all. What was that, Shania? We can't hear each other, you know, just steps away from each other. What's that? Okay, I think her mic had died. Okay, we'll get a new microphone there. Could you actually come to the panel wall on camera 6, if we can? Okay. So we've been on here for so long. Shania has mentioned, you know, some of the batteries had just died, but this is a live look here at 98th and Slide. Just want you for over South Lubbock. It is so loud right now. Stay in the central part of your home. Ride the storm out. It's going to be a few more minutes here. Adam, I can see from your vantage point, and actually we'll go to Adam here in just a second. I want to give you 2 different areas that we have of concern. Hail that's moving over South Lubbock. So this is stretching from the South Loop to 82nd Street, 98th Street, coming down to 1585. That's where the large hail is. It's going to continue moving off to the east. The rotation that we're still noting is moving over downtown into northeastern Lubbock. So that's where the concern is for still the potential for tornado development. Adam, I know it's going to be difficult to really hear. What is your vantage point? Because I know you're staying outside the storm. Where are you and what are you seeing?
Hey, Matt, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we have you.
Hey, okay, sorry. With all the hail noise, it's a little bit. I'm right by Lubbock right now. I'm honestly thinking I'm right on the edge of the hail course, so we're trying to get out. But man, right now I'm getting personal reports already of golf balls and baseballs. Really concerned about folks over in Wolford as far as the hail threat right now. I mean, I think I'd rather take the hail over the tornado threat, but it's still not very good. One thing I'm seeing, though, is the storm is definitely trying to become a little bit more linear. When I've had a good couple of angles on it the last couple of minutes, I'm not seeing that mesocyclone that we look before we have a wall cloud and then a funnel cloud and all that. It's becoming much more of just a very, very strong thunderstorm without that kind of tornadic motion that we normally see out of these. So that's going to help quite a bit, I think, here over a little bit. But it's still, I mean, as everybody's experiencing right now in Lubbock, a very, very efficient hail producer. Also have to mention, again, the flooding risk. I'm getting a lot of reports of minor flooding in Lubbock, which is obviously a concern. So that's just something to keep an eye on here over the next little bit.
Okay, thank you, Adam. So that's what Adam is saying, and I know it's difficult to hear him. It's difficult to hear me, but he mentioned is it's becoming a very efficient hail producer and becoming a little bit more linear. That's good news for it to become more linear and hopefully not have the tornadic threat. Now, the tornado warning is quite dramatically from being just this intense, very, very loud storm to where it's going to be something we can actually talk at a standard level. But this is golf ball to baseball to tennis ball size hail that is falling over South Lubbock. And I think, and latest update here that Shania is showing here, that hail core over South Lubbock. Adam, what do you have?
Hey, just to let you know, I'm seeing quite a bit of traffic now on 87. Along with the fact that now I'm starting to have some pea-sized hail, which means that hail core is literally right on my tail. Don't know why we're seeing a traffic backup yet, but if you are heading southbound on 87, I would try to avoid it and take a different route if you're trying to get out of the storm.
Okay, good to know. Traffic's backing up, and that's why we've mentioned over the past about half hour or so that we advise, don't try to drive through this storm. It is so incredibly loud. And let's see. Oh, yeah, let me go back to holding. We can take this radar full screen because it's so loud I'm having to yell into a lavalier microphone like this. We can go back to Max 1 full screen. So thank you, Tony and Dimitri, everyone, for running through this. I think it's good to reset as far as what we have out there and what you should be doing. The tornado warning continues for Lubbock, but at this point, that's over northeastern parts of Lubbock where we are, and we're starting to get the very large hail to drop off. And like I mentioned, it's pretty dramatic drop off in time, so we can stop yelling here. Let me try to make out what that perspective was. So it's still the hail threat over south into southeast Lubbock, and the warning has just been updated here. Again, the tornado warning continues for Lubbock until 8:45. Here's the latest update from the National Weather Service. The warning continues at 8:25. A severe storm capable of producing a tornado was over downtown Lubbock or 4 miles northeast of Lubbock. It's moving southeast at 10 with a gust of 71 at the All Saints West Texas Mesonet station at 8:16. 16. That's just down the road from us, less than a mile here at 98th or about 101st and Indiana. So still this storm has the threat of tennis ball size hail and a tornado. Going to a live view 3, you can see some of the large hail that's falling as they're driving through South Lubbock right here. And I believe, and you can just see that's what Adam mentioned, the flooding that's out there as well. I think they are right across, I thought that may have been right by All Saints in South Lubbock. So that's the perspective from live view 3. So John, I'll toss it back to you now that I'm not, well, the hail is picking back up once again, but we're having to like scream into our microphones here. And I know we can't hear each other, so I'll toss it back to you.
All right.
There.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah. Great job there. I'll tell you what, it was so deafening in here. What we're looking at now, again, we still have hail. You can hear it outside along 98. Estimated up to tennis ball size, quarter size, golf ball size hail in Woolworth, north of Donald Preston. Someone said along Highway 114 southwest of Lubbock near the Target outside of the city. All right. Well, you can step in here, Shania. She's going to show you the hail size. Take a look at that, what's hitting us here at KCBD. Now, we're at 98th and University, and you can see that'll focus in a little bit. There we go. So again, we do have large hail here, not quite golf ball size. Some of it sounds like it's larger than that. And we have had some very large hail here, all the way down to the Woodrow area, and back southeast towards the Slayton area. Again, tornado warning continues. However, the good news, actually, just now, they're going to cancel the tornado warning. So we can be seeing that tornado warning disappear, we hope, here shortly. A severe thunderstorm warning will remain in place. That's because of the large hail that continues to fall. In addition to that, we still have the potential of some very strong winds, especially now in the south and southeastern areas of the city of Lubbock and all the way down to Woodrow, the Slayton area. Those winds will likely migrate over towards possibly Ransom Canyon or Buffalo Springs. Heavy rain, maybe the hail and winds will possibly track on down towards Slayton based on the travel of this storm. It is going generally east. You can see here's the radar site. Things are finally improving out at Reese Village and at Shallow Water in general. So again, tornado warning will hopefully be canceled and replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning here shortly. I'll ask July to put this back in animation if you would, and we'll be able to see that storm tracking across Lubbock County. There's the strong hail. There's where the winds were located, right across south central, southwest, and southern areas of Lubbock, all the way down to Woodrow. That continues to move, as I mentioned, to the southeast. Heavy rain here. There's some heavy rain in Idalou. We still have some hail falling. We don't have a lot of soundproofing above. That's why you hear the hail, and I hope you can hear me as well. You can zoom out on the radar a little bit there tonight. This should become a thunderstorm warning here shortly. Abernathy, heavy rain. There's the thunderstorm warning, and I know production is trying to tell me something, but I don't hear them right now. I see the heavy rain. I want to mention earlier, I don't know if we have the First Bank and Trust camera or not. If we take the First Bank and Trust camera and show the hail flowing down the roadways earlier, I don't know if you can see it now or not, but earlier the hail was flowing down the roadways in the water. That's how big the hail was. It continues to fall. So again, why don't I try? I'll do it like Matt did it. If this will help a little, my pronunciation and stuff. Florida warning for Lubbock County has just been upgraded again. It continues basically to severe for 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong-sized hail. Tornado warning will be canceled. This is First Bank and Trust. Can't really see it now. You see the heavy rainfall, but earlier you can see the hail flowing down the curbside. Let's take a look. Avenue A camera, you'll just see heavy rainfall, I believe, there. And then 98th Street, we can come back and just rotate around the cameras, and that way we can take a look, see what we've got here. You can see here, KCBD, heavy rain continues to fall. I don't know if we see any hail on the ground. Might see some falling through the air. But again, it's beginning to taper off just a little bit here. Things may get a little bit better here in the city of Lubbock, not so much in the eastern parts of Lubbock County. We'll go back to Doppler radar now. We'll give you an idea of what's going on as far as this particular storm. And we need to update you on some of the others as well. But severe thunderstorms still moving through Lubbock. It looks like they may continue to keep this portion of a tornado warning, although they just said they would be canceling it. And then down towards Slayton, heavy rain. rainfall. This thunderstorm warning goes to Wilson, back down just to the northwest corner of Garza County, moving into the western areas of Crosby County here. So the heavy rain, not necessarily the hail, we'll have to see if that continues with this storm, but that is going to make its way into parts of Crosby County, northern areas of Lynn County, northwestern areas of Garza County. There is a thunderstorm warning here. I know we haven't had much time to concentrate on the remainder of the South Plains, but fortunately there hasn't been any other tornado warnings, although we have a tornado watch still in effect. But we do have one severe thunderstorm here south of Highway 70. Looks like that's close to Olton, maybe towards the Cotton Center area. There it is. You can see briefly some large hail, but that storm looks like that's diminishing now. A few other thunderstorms not quite so strong. There we go. And Shania showing the hail there tracking just north of Fielden, but fortunately that's diminishing. Corey, just a moderate to heavy rainfall. Cotton Center, same thing in Hale Center, moderate to heavy rainfall in Abernathy. And again, with this much intense rainfall and the winds on the radar site, the imaging here is a little bit different, but again, some indications of the strong weather occurring there. And it's just an indication, by the way, they are going to cancel the Lamb County warning. I'll see if I can clip this back on my tie here. And we have a thunderstorm warning, and we just have the flash flood warning. They did finally get rid of the tornado warning around Lubbock and Lubbock County, so good news there. Shower storms east, scattered. These are not severe, from Spur down to west of Jayton and Kent County. Then back west of Littlefield, a strong thunderstorm down here in Bailey County. There's a heavy thunderstorm south of Olton, Plainview area, but the strongest storm by far is still the one right over southeast Lubbock and southeast Lubbock County, moving into the western areas of Crosby County and down in the northeastern corner of Lynn County. The storm continues to track east, build a little bit south. As Shania zooms out, nothing going on in New Mexico. A few scattered storms up north, the Muleshoe, Dimmitt area, Plainview as well. Back here in Lubbock, you can see the intensity of that storm still continues. The Lamb County warning has been canceled. We have the flash flood warning in effect, obviously, for Lubbock County. They've had over an inch of rainfall at the airport. They have a tipping scale bucket there, and it was so much, I think it even overflowed to the point that they may not have exactly how much fell, but you get the idea. Heavy rainfall over Lubbock, and that is now moving to the east, over into Crosby County. Will work its way all the way down into Lynn County, and then back over down towards Garza County. In general, hopefully these storms will slowly decrease in intensity now, going into the evening hours and make their way out of the region, although the tornado watch continues in effect. But hopefully the trend will be for these to gradually decrease. It's going to take a little while with Lubbock, but you can tell here as the purple.
And we had a report of 109-mile-per-hour wind gust earlier. We have a report of one injury, a person possibly struck by lightning in the car. Don't know all the details of that. Usually if you're inside your vehicle, your rubber tires will protect you from lightning, but we don't know all the details about that. All we know, one person hit by lightning in their car in Lubbock. And you're watching continuing coverage of severe weather in Texas right now.
Brings all the way out into western
here on
Crosby
Storm Watch
County,
America.
where
Stay
you
with
have
us.
the potential for up to 3-inch diameter hail with that storm right there. If we'll go to some of the tower cams now around the city to give you a perspective that you can see here at 98th and University, well, it has finally let up. And you can see right there, there goes an ambulance there. Can't imagine. I mean, that's what first responders do, is no matter what the conditions are, if there's any way they can get there, they will. You can see how slowly that ambulance was having to go through the intersection at 98th and University. Let's go west down 98th to Slide Road and show you that we're actually seeing a little bit more light in the perspective right here, where the rain has let up over southwest Lubbock. And goodness, what a hail producer that's moved through. This is a costly, costly storm, no doubt, with that kind of hail that's fallen over much of Lubbock. But we always look for the good news here, and I can tell you that as loud as the storm was, like if you're right here at 98th and Slide, or we just showed you 98th and University, we're still seeing the structure standing here. For the kind of storm that we just faced, that's a good sign. Let's go to Avenue A here. This is 56th and Avenue A. We're looking to the west right now, and this is the perspective for a while that when we were looking at it, it was so green with that major hailstorm that was moving through. So this is the perspective to the west. I'm going to swing this back around to the east because this is the part of the storm that we're actually interested in, the most intense part of the storm as it's moving into East Lubbock and East Lubbock County. And we're still seeing rotation with this thunderstorm. Again, it doesn't have a tornado warning on it right now, but there's still some rotation enough to support the 2 to 3 inch hail potential with the storm. This is looking southeast. Now we'll look back to the south. This is at the South Loop and 87 and 84 intersection right there, and then back to the west where a little bit of blue sky is out there as well. But definitely, John, this has been a loud, impactful storm for the city. If there's any, I mean, we always look for good news. Certainly good news would be the fact that this thunderstorm, as far as we know, we're going to be gathering information, but we don't have any reports of the tornado touching down within the city. That was a different story just west of Lubbock before the storm moved in. But no doubt, I know you're getting flooded by all these different reports that are coming in of hail. We've had many, many reports of at least golf ball to baseball to tennis ball size hail. Big thanks. Bill just reported up to 1 inch size hail near 87th and Canton just a little while ago. So that's where things stand right now. And also we were delayed, or you know, our programming's been not seen here for a couple of hours. Also in Oklahoma, they were delayed with the storm. Red Raiders and Longhorns in the top of the 4th, 0-0 up there in Oklahoma City. So John, it's still a storm that's means, I mean, it's a significant punch for eastern and southeastern parts of Lubbock right now, John.
That is so true there, Matt. In fact, the Weather Service just estimating high hail size up in that area, maybe 3 inches. And you can see here again where that would be. Some areas of east, southeast, that may be around Ransom Canyon or Buffalo Springs. It may be a little further east of that, but still very large hail still there, very intense rainfall. Here in Lubbock, finally beginning to taper off, that it continues to move east and a little bit southeast, actually going more to the east over towards the Robertson community along Highway 207, moving into Rawls, not quite as intense, but this is the most intense part of the storm that now will move into Crosby County and eventually work its way across that county. If it holds together, hopefully it will continue to decrease in intensity. It still has a lot of strength with some strong winds. It still has some very heavy rainfall. Still has some intense lightning associated with it. So all of that are the factors as that storm moves out of Lubbock into Crosby County. And again, other thunderstorms located right here in the Dickens area between Dickens and Spur along Highway 70. So generally, this is the most intense thunderstorm for the time being as it makes its way out of the city of Lubbock slowly. And I will encourage you, if it's safe for you to do it now, and if you have video and photos, anything like that, please upload those to kcbd.com/first alert, kcbd.com/first alert. We would certainly like to have those either for tonight or tomorrow. So again, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect on 9:30. And Dimitri, I heard you there. What are we going to now? Oh, we're back to, looks like at this point, checking out what's going on with Adam. So he's traveling, I'm not sure the direction, but it looks like he's traveling south maybe. Gives you an idea of that storm. He must still be around Lubbock, though. You can see the storm indicated here.
Back in front.
So I'm just going to stay back and let you watch that video there. Adam shooting again. So this still is a very intense thunderstorm moving in this area, the eastern parts of the city of Lubbock, and it has caused, I'm sure, a lot of damage, as Matt had mentioned a few minutes ago, between intense rainfall, the strong winds, the potential of winds over 100 miles an hour north and northwest of Lubbock. So again, it has been very intense. Still some pockets. In fact, now it looks like there may be another pocket of hail west and southwest of Slayton. So that could be anywhere from golf ball size and larger. Strongest hail, as indicated by the National Weather Service, is right here northeast of Slayton, right along the Crosby and Lubbock County line. Look at the intensity and the overall coverage of that storm here. But this is a little pocket that just kind of redeveloped right here south of Lubbock, headed in the areas north of Wilson. That may track its way on to the east. Now that one may actually impact the Slayton community as it continues to make its way in that general direction. A little bit further east, you see showers and storms in Dickens County and between Dickens and Spur along Highway 70 and along Highway 82 with the strongest part of this storm here. The tornado watch still continues for our region, but I think the probabilities of seeing tornado development, they're never ruled out in this case. We're still under the watch, but they should be a little lower. But you can see where the flood warnings still are. Lubbock County and still in the north and northeastern areas of Hockley County. Now, there's a new moderate thunderstorm here, west-southwest of Littlefield. One in the area, looks like maybe north of Spring Lake and Earth along Highway 70. Other showers well north of Plainview. Other activity along Highway 82. According to the National Weather Service, Slayton just had a wind gust of 75 miles an hour as of 8:40, which was 2 minutes ago. So that's the area I just mentioned with the large hail. So the winds that impacted Lubbock and some of the hail that's impacted Lubbock now making its way towards the Slayton area. So indicating the winds in that general area moving away from Lubbock, very strong, some pockets of very strong winds, just anywhere from 50 to maybe up to 80 miles an hour, moving through the southeastern corner of Lubbock County and just edging through the northeastern areas of Lynn County and edging down towards the community of Southland if it continues to hold together. Brunt of the storm, though, has now moved in to western areas of Crosby County where the thunderstorm warning is. That's approaching the community of Caprock, raining in that community now. Looks like it'll be approaching Canyon Valley and then maybe Calgary as well. Storm continues to hold together quite well. Let me take here hail to the size of baseball and potential wind gust of 80 miles an hour. That's with the storm down towards the Slayton area. So thunderstorm warning obviously will continue for this area west and southwest of Slayton and then back around Woodrow. Looks like the hail is just to your southeast. This area may be decreasing some, but it had ramped up quite a bit. Now it's drifting east, but that's potentially what's going to impact Slayton. Another area shows that heavy hail and large hail north and northeast of Slayton. That's right along the Crosby and Lubbock County lines. And down around Southland, thunderstorm warning there. And you can actually hear the rain is intensifying again here over News Channel 11. And if you check, we have a shower redeveloping over us on the backside of that severe thunderstorm. This one is not severe right now, but they're going to say, oh, they're taking the baseball size estimate down on this hail to 3 inches in diameter. That's not much, but that helps some. But the wind's still possibly up to 80 miles an hour. So again, about 3-inch size hail with that storm over to Slayton. They said actually baseball size hail is a downgrade from 3 inches. Okay, we'll see what happens there. That's according to the National Weather Service. Some of that heavy rain down around Wilson.
Okay.
All right, Tony, who did that come from? Adam says 0.6 of an inch of rainfall in Slayton so far. Tony, our producer here, was passing that information on to me. So again, so far 0.6 in the Slayton area. And I haven't had a chance to check the rain gauge outside. Once the storm's gone, we can check our rain gauge. If it's still standing outside, since it's glass, we'll see what happens. But look at the rainfall. You can tell still on the roadways and around, but at least travel is fairly well now on Interstate 27. Should have maybe a beautiful sunset, depending on any more additional developing thunderstorms in our region. But we're looking off a little bit here, so things are shaping up for improving weather, but we still have showers and storms in and around Lubbock County, and they continue to track off generally a little bit to the east, maybe to the southeast as well. Those storms extend over to Dickens County. Still some activity up in Lamb County that continues in that particular county, and we're watching for any additional information. I think most of the reports now will be rainfall or wind damage or the hail that's still occurring with the storms. And this storm taking a little bit of a southeast turn, so it is north of Wilson, just entering the Slayton area, so that's tracking right along Highway 84. Shania, you might zoom in on that a little bit if you could there around Slayton to Wilson. and we can show those people exactly where that hail may be. It looks like at least the rainfall will move down towards the Southland community, and here's a little pocket of the hail south and southwest of that community, right along the, it looks like the county line actually there, and that is East Farm to Market Road 41. So Lynn County and southeastern corner of Lubbock County, that's where some of that potential 3-inch size hail is occurring at this point as that storm moves on east and southeast. So gives you an idea of how intense that storm was as it moved over Lubbock, moved over Reese Center, moved through Cochran County, moved through Hockley County, and the hail size did ramp up from just a few minutes ago to at least 3 inches, according to the National Weather Service. And there's that core. Fortunately, that's north of Wilson, but if you live in this general area, you're likely to be getting some very large hail at this point, and that's down southwest of the city of Slayton at this point. So, and all right, let's go to Adam now. We're looking at the back of the storm system. So he's making his way. I'm not sure what street he's on. We may get that in a few minutes, but it does show you that storm system moving away from Lubbock slowly. So he may be headed down towards Slayton where he lives. So we'll see what happens. But again, the intensity of that storm still producing some hail, still producing some very heavy rainfall down in that area. Matt?
Yeah, and John, just showing the significance of the flooding that we've seen, because this is what Adam is showing right now. That is a serious storm in Wilson. You need to be in a sturdy structure as it approaches you and moving down towards Southland and northwestern Garza County. On the streaming computer, I can show you from central Lubbock first. John shared this video showing just how heavy the rainfall was in the central part of the city. This, I believe, is near 14th Street. Look at how deep the water was right there here just a little while ago. So that was quite a bit of very heavy rainfall. And that's the part of the city, central Lubbock, near Texas Tech, toward downtown, where we had the concern of the tornadic rotation. No indications that there was a tornado that touched down, but that was something that we kept a close eye on right there. This is the perspective. Randy Smith shared this, showing the size of hail that fell across South Lubbock. And just look at the shredding of those tree limbs from, looks like that was a lot of 1-inch hail, but some of it may have been a little bit larger than that. Let me see, I didn't name these videos. Going to see which order. You can just see the heavy rainfall that was falling down right here. And it's, I believe, always good advice, you know, once it's a safe place where you can share the video, kcbd.com/first alert, and they teach you in newsrooms anyone can shoot video, including news directors. So I thank Dave for sending the video right here. And the reason I bring that up, let's go from Dave Walker's video right here. Let me see if I can back this out. And that's just showing, you know, how things were knocked around here in south central Lubbock. And then the second video, you can see Benji shared this video right here. So this is from South Lubbock as well. Look at just how much hail fell through South Lubbock. And this is when it was still falling at that time. A lot of that 1-inch hail, but then some larger hail embedded within it. The sheer volume of hail was so great and such really, really heavy rainfall. So that's what moved through Lubbock. So thanks, Benji, Dave, John, all sending for sending those in. We'll get some more of your photos here in just a bit. Let's take a live look here at Live View 3 going down 98th Street. And you can see that Julio's actually driving in the middle part of the roadway because the sides, the middle and right lanes are flooded. So traffic is generally down to those middle lanes right there because part of it is actually just flooded right now. He just turned around here. This is 98th, just about a half-mile west of University, coming back here toward the TV station. And you can actually see right now that, that at this point, we're starting to see some blue sky here. So that's the part of the city where things have calmed down. Live View 1 gives a different perspective here, and that's Adam showing that severe thunderstorm that is moving down into southeastern Lubbock County and moving down toward Wilson and Southland down that direction. That is certainly an intense storm, and Adam's going to keep a close eye on that storm because it is still an environment where it could get even more organized at this point. This has been a thunderstorm that, you know, that rolled through Lubbock and produced all of the hail, all of the wind right here. This is still going to be a dangerous storm. So that is the thunderstorm that's moving southeast right now with the severe thunderstorm warning in place. John and Shania?
All right, thanks there, Matt. And again, we do have a new warning that's just been issued, and this is up in the area, southern areas of Lamb County and the northern and central areas of Hockley County, primarily for the hail indication right here, and the fact heavy rainfall and potentially wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. So again, another severe thunderstorm has occurred here, developed here recently, and moving out of Cochran County into Hockley County, moving into northern areas of Lamb County. Looks like this one will impact Littlefield. The hail, though, is tracking just along the county line in southern areas of Lamb County. So we'll continue to watch that. But if you live in this general area, you likely have at least some 1-inch size or larger size hail, maybe even quarter size hail moving through that region along with the heavy rainfall. There's still a flood warning in effect along the county line here in Lubbock and extending back over around the areas north of Levelland in the northeastern corner of Hockley County where heavy rainfall occurred there. Nothing down to the west or southwest. For Lubbock, we still have this one severe thunderstorm here rolling into Crosby County, slowly moving into the northeastern corner. It's really been slowly progressing with the large hail near really northeast of Wilson, but rolling close to the Slayton area along Highway 84. That is going to make its way on into the northern areas of Garza County and the south and southwestern areas, looks like, of Crosby County over towards Canyon Valley and maybe towards the Calgary community as well. So look for that storm to continue to take its way on to the east, moving out of Lubbock at this particular time. So a couple of thunderstorm warnings still in effect. Overall, the South Plains is still under a tornado watch, at least another hour or so, unless it's canceled earlier. It's in effect till 10 o'clock tonight. We still have a few storms redeveloping. You can't rule out the potential for a tornado or potential development in that area, but most of it looks like it will be hail and heavy rainfall and some very strong winds with a few of these storms and widely scattered showers. Look at that, edging up towards Matador, back down towards the areas west of Guthrie, maybe a few light showers down in Kent County. The track on this storm will take it down towards Southland and Buenos, Canyon Valley, Post, and even down potentially to Claremont. It may have enough strength to last that long. We'll see. It's going into some deep moisture working its way that way. We have plenty of moisture obviously in place for all of the South Plains. Some flooding in and around the city of Lubbock right now. I know that over in Melanie Park South, there's some skylights that were busted out from the hail tonight that may be common around parts of the city. So appreciate my niece for letting me know about that. Sent some video. We'll try to get that to news tonight for tomorrow, one or the other. And then the one severe storm here southwest of Littlefield. So Adam, if you're there, you want to bring us an update where you are and what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, now we're on the backside of the storm. I'm heading into, I'll be in Wilson here in just a few minutes. But I mean, you can see just how healthy looking the storm is. But at the same time, now, of course, I'm approaching from the backside. It's not exactly the most ideal spot to view any kind of rotation or anything like that, but I also still don't see any major rotation right now, at least in this part of the storm. I'm barely able to make out any kind of a mezzo trying to form. I know Matt a couple of minutes ago talked about how this is starting to enter into a very favorable environment. When I was at home in Slayton earlier on tonight, or today, right before I left, I felt that temperature jump up about 10 degrees in about 10 minutes once that sun poked through the clouds. And so now we're getting into some places that have not been touched today that have a little bit of energy. And by the way, John, at my house, up to 1.1 inches of rain in, I mean, what was that? Maybe 30 minutes of rain for Slayton, and it's still coming down.
Pardon me, know that, Adam, and that's why there's been so much flooding in and around the city of Lubbock and those western areas, Hockley County and Lamb County as well, where the warnings have been in effect. But that's still a very intense thunderstorm there. Rainfall heavy. The Weather Service says it's been over an inch of rainfall. You see anything new on that. But again, some damage reports from winds, not only around the city of Lubbock, but other areas. Looks like we're getting some photos in between West Carlisle Volunteer Fire Department. A couple of photos they posted with the National Weather Service of some damage, maybe to roofs and some other buildings because of strong winds. But as far as severe weather, you've got the storm here southwest of Crosbyton all the way down northwestern area of Garza County and a northeastern area of Lynn County. Then back over in the areas around Hockley County and the southern areas of Lamb County. strong to intense thunderstorm there. This one's likely packing a little bit of hail. We know this storm has been packing possibly 1 to 3 inch size hail, and they're reporting now between Morton and Littlefield. We'll look at that in a second. I'll give you an update. But again, this one initially, hail size may be finally decreasing. At least the coverage area is decreasing south of Slayton. So some of that may impact maybe the community of Southland. A little bit of hail still going on here back in the west-southwestern areas of Crosby County. And then now we can jump up here where reports from the National Weather Service of ping pong ball size hail between Morton and Littlefield. So obviously right in this pocket right here. So this is some ping pong size hail. This severe thunderstorm is working its way. Looks like it'll continue to track into Littlefield, but the hail, at least at this point, is well southwest of Littlefield, and that storm's tracking to the east. Doesn't look like it's comparing to the size here in Lubbock, though, as far as hail size. Strongest hail is still down south. Matt?
Yeah, let's take a look at some more of the photos that we've come in on the streaming computer. I want to take you back to 4:50 this afternoon, and Chase took this photo when they had just gone west of the state line, crossed over into Roosevelt County, New Mexico, and that's when they first observed the tornado. That was the thunderstorm that came all the way here to Lubbock and is moving farther southeast. So that was the first report when we started our coverage here at about 5 o'clock. I want to show you some of the damage across South Lubbock. You can see windows have been knocked out. When you have wind-blown hail like we did, some of these larger hail reports, it's going to knock windows out. And so unfortunately we have damage like that. Let me see a couple of the other photos that had here. Just one second, see if I can open up. So this is another example of the wind coming in and causing that type of damage to windows. So I know we're going to have a whole bunch of claims of, you know, windows damage, skylights damage, things like that. The best news is, as far as I know, and Shania's been checking, you know, all the different reports coming in, we haven't had any reports of injuries, anything like that within Lubbock, have we, Shania? No, okay, good. So nothing like that here. We had that over in Hockley County. And you can submit your photos at kcbd.com/firstalert. Let me pull up, let me cycle back through so I can actually get the radar pulled up here. Just one second to kind of show you what we are still dealing with this storm. It's not like everything is, you know, wound this. We're still seeing at this point some rotation with that thunderstorm as it's moving down towards Southland and northwest of Post. So that is the one storm there. Also kind of setting the scene for back in the control room what we'll be doing here. We'll continue our weather coverage here for a few more minutes, but we'll try to get into our 9 o'clock newscast here in just a little bit. But what I also want to show is this thunderstorm off to the southwest of Littlefield. It is showing some rotation with this thunderstorm, and there's ping pong size hail potential with this thunderstorm right here. So this is another storm that brings the potential for ping pong size hail. It's moving into an area that has had a whole lot of rainfall. I'll be curious to see, we'll animate this to show the motion first on, you can just see that whole complex of storms rolling over Lubbock back toward that direction. And we are here at 9 o'clock now and continue our weather coverage on KCBD and on Fox 34. Note how that parent storm over Lubbock just kind of ingests the scattered storms that developed over the southwestern South Plains, congealed together there into this one big monster right over Hockley, then Lubbock County. But look at how there's this additional development up to the northwest. So I'll pause it here so we can look at the very last scan that's right here. So at this point, it just shows the kind of environment that we have, that storms, that first storm that was just rocking and rolling for hours, as severe as it was, we still have lift here, lift in the atmosphere to get a storm to go up and still enough energy for the potential for ping pong size hail back here southwest of Littlefield. So those are the conditions that we have out there right now. I want to go back to a live view 1 and show you that this is what Adam is looking at. He's on the thunderstorm down near Slayton that is indicating 2 to potentially 3-inch diameter hail. Impressive structure on this thunderstorm right now. as it's moving farther south and east. It's kept that speed probably about 20 to 30 miles per hour. And we'll go to Shania here in just a bit. Although I think, did your mic die or is it still?
I just put a new battery in.
She's good. We've had to replace these batteries here quite a bit since we've been on continuously here since 5 o'clock. So we'll go to Shania in just a moment on tracking the motion of that thunderstorm down to the southeast. But you can see what Adam is looking at here. I mean, this is an impressive structure. If you know someone who may be coming back from out of town, coming up 84, someone just coming from maybe Post driving into Lubbock, tell them they do not need to be trying to drive through this storm. It is producing some very large hail right on top of 84 from Slayton to about Posey to Southland right now. What is latest information on that storm, Shania?
They just issued a new warning referring to the Garza County storm system, or the one that's moving off to the southeast at around 45 miles per hour. The hazards right now are still looking at Ping Pong, or excuse me, that was the one for Morton and Littlefield. This one's up to about 2 inches, so $half size hail, and then that base of 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So I know earlier we did have some reports from the Slayton Mesonet of some very strong winds, 75 miles per hour. That was at 8:42. And now the new warning issued for that same storm system moving off to the southeast, those wind speeds have dropped down closer to around 60 miles per hour. So that's somewhat better of a situation. Of course, those are still extremely strong wind gusts. Yeah, just got the message from the National Weather Service. New severe warning for Lubbock, Lynn, Garza, Crosby. That's what you're seeing when you're looking at Doppler radar right now. This specific storm system, 60 mile per hour winds and hail up to about 2 inches. So on that storm system as well. For the most part, I'll go ahead and put a tracker on this so we can see for the areas. The storm's moving fairly quickly. This says southeast at about 45 miles per hour, so I'll extend that out as far as I can, potentially making its way into the Claremont area, also moving towards Jayton potentially. Get some stronger winds associated with this storm system, and maybe some heavy rainfall. The Canyon Valley area as well, community of Calgary about to get some pretty decent rainfall. 9:45, so likely keeping its intensity. I mean, this is the same storm that we've been on for almost 3 to 4 hours, if not a little bit longer than that. So there's a good chance that this storm will stay as intense as it has been throughout the rest of this warning period, at least. Matt?
Okay, well, thanks for the update, Shania. And the good news is that as we're watching the thunderstorms in their current state here, and we can actually go back to, let's go to live view 1 again, because Adam's got a really good perspective on that thunderstorm. You just saw right there, it's moving near Southland down toward Post. Incredible structure on this thunderstorm, but setting the stage logistically here, we will be able to wrap our weather coverage for the moment, since we at this point are not looking at any additional tornado warnings, at least at the current time, and that certainly could change. But at this point, it does appear that the 2 thunderstorms that we have out there are still prolific hail producers. And what, I know you just mentioned a moment ago, what was the hail size on the storm near Slayton right now? Because I mean, it's been up. I know you said like came down a little bit, but it's still pretty big, Shania.
Yeah, it's 2 inch, so getting up to $half maybe. Hen egg is a good reference for that, so obviously larger than just your regular egg. 2 inches in diameter for that hail report. And I'll zoom in on this if they do wind up going back to max 1, so we can kind of see what the hail looks like associated with this storm system. Still large hail. I mean, it's just not baseballs like what the storm was producing earlier is, I think, what the Weather Service is referring to when they're saying that things are, quote unquote, trying to die down and downgrade.
Yeah, certainly with what we have there. And if we could go to the Avenue A tower cam to give you a perspective. Way back well west of the city. And I know this can be concerning that we're looking at yet another severe storm out to the west. At least on its current trajectory, It may wind up passing a little bit farther north, but at this point, it is still a thunderstorm out there producing at least 1-inch hail, but potential for ping pong size hail. That's the perspective here for from Avenue A looking back to the west. This was the same camera last hour. We were showing you all. Let's go back to Live View 1 real quick before we wrap our coverage up on KCBD. We'll return back to regular programming. We'll continue. Obviously, it's time. It's past 9 o'clock, so we'll begin News Channel 11 at 9 on Fox 34 here in just a minute. But Adam is keeping a close eye on this thunderstorm that is moving toward Post, and Post is under a severe thunderstorm warning now. Also want to mention a flash flood warning continues for Lubbock because we saw so much rain. I mean, spots over 2 inches of rain in not that much time. You can see the lightning flashing right there as Adam's looking down to the southeast. Let's go to Max 2 real quick and just want to wrap up where the storms are right now and let you know the most intense storm includes Garza County and Post. Potential for larger hail with this storm, especially stretching from Slayton to near Southland, just east of like the Posey Gin toward Caprock, Canyon Valley. That is where the largest hail is right now. That storm is moving southeast and picking up pretty good pace, but Post is included, goes down about to Lake Allen Henry because the storm has been increasing in its speed. That's a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 9:45. It's moving southeast now at about 45 miles per hour, potential for 2-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. And again, that storm is racing now at 45 miles per hour. And we are keeping a close eye on this thunderstorm that has been showing some signs of rotation on it to the southwest of Littlefield. This is not like the storm that we had near Pep and Pettit and Whit Harrell back, that would have been about 3 hours ago. It is not like that storm, thank goodness. But that is a severe storm that we'll keep an eye on and could eventually get into Lubbock. So anything else that you'd like to toss in real quick, Shania? I think we've covered it all.
Yeah, I think so too. I think as long as everyone just being aware of the flooding hazards, I think that's going to be one of the biggest issues once these storm systems stop producing hail, of course. That's the main hazard right now is still the hail associated with it. But heavy localized flooding is pretty likely for almost the entire viewing area. I mean, when you're looking at Doppler radar right now, we have at least 3 flood advisories, one in Hockley County, northeastern Hockley County, almost all of Lubbock County, and then another one extending down into the Lynn, Garza, and then Crosby County area. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure a lot of people are still out watching the games as you're heading home. If you are watching our coverage right now, make sure you're being careful when you're driving because there's definitely going to be a ton of flooding hazards associated with these storm systems.
Yep. So I don't know if we're able to swing camera 6 around real quick to the pano, but want to let you know what we know at this point here as far as at 9:09. We've received so many of your reports. Thank you for submitting those. KCBD.com/first alert. So we know we have lots and lots of reports of things like broken windows. I mean, likely vehicle damage, including like right back here. Those are some of our news units right here at 98th and University, and our vehicles out there as well. Damage like that from the wind-blown hail. The good news is we don't have any indications that that tornado that was just west of the city near Reese Center, which really is the larger Lubbock metropolitan area, was on the ground there. We don't have any indications that that tornado touched down in the city itself or like within the loop where the rotation was. We'll be checking on that. We know there are power outages around the city. We've had, like I mentioned, all the hail damage reports and wind damage like that rolled through Lubbock. Had at least 1 injury reported in Hockley County. That storm, that tornado we showed you a few minutes ago at 4:50 Central Time was just across the state line, tracked just north of Morton, passed north of Levelland, got really close to Whit Harrell, may have missed Whit Harrell by just a couple of miles. We're checking on that, and then continued down toward Reese Center, and then moved over the city of Lubbock. Prolific hail and wind producer. That rotation moved over the northern part of the city, and that is the supercell that we're watching moving down toward Post. So that's where things stand at this point. Our news team is gathering information here. John's gathering some more information right now to put together for the forecast here that we will have coming up in just a bit. So on KCBD, we'll return you back to our regular programming. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock, but our weather coverage update here in just a few minutes. For now, stay with us for weather coverage you can count on.
Not following the herd. You're doing what you want to do, and that makes you stand out. I loved it, really loved it. Howie? Yes. Mel?
Yes! Absolutely yes.
Thanks so much.
And you got 4 yeses, congratulations.
You know what was funny? When you went, you are following your own path. And the mother turned to him and went, I told you.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, yes, she did. We saw it. It was amazing. It was cute, wasn't it?
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
That's why we do it, Marcy.
It really makes all the effort worth it. Gathering the most in-depth info, making a clean new homes.com that improves home shopping, creating a better way for people
To find the perfect home to build their lives.
Are you okay?
No, it's the dust-based allergy. Oh, there's another one.
That's why we do it, isn't it? Got a lot of dust in your...
So dusty.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
No one, not even WhatsApp, can hear your personal messages. So your baby's first introductions stay private.
He's beautiful, you guys. Congratulations.
Say hello to your cheesiest craving yet.
Oh, snap.
That's right. Cheez-It made a chip.
Oh, snap.
Baked, not fried, with 100% real cheese.
Oh, snap.
Okay, somebody please eat this thing before I do. Want it, need it, Cheez-It.
Febreze. Love your plugins but wish you had more scent control? Meet the Febreze Plug Scent Booster. Enjoy the same 50 days of continuous scent as Febreze Plug, including a cord for flexible placement options and a boost button for extra scent. Febreze Plug Scent Booster. La, 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 la.
Different dogs have different needs, like skin and coat, mobility support, and healthy digestion. That's why I advanced different formulas, so every dog can be a healthy dog.
Medicare? Living with diabetes? Progress is having your coffee like you like it. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is covered by Medicare for more people managing diabetes with insulin. Ask your doctor today.
Did someone take some of my candles? They're not all here.
Checking out with PayPal.
You can pay your own way. Still in here. This is how I get all week.
Is back, answering the chicken tenders you've always loved. Now served unlimited with 8 sauces to choose from for just $15.99. Plus endless riblets and double crunch shrimp, only at Applebee's.
Let your worries drift away. Verizon.
What do you think we're gonna see? Lots of princesses. That sing? Yeah, and there's villains too. Can't dream. And I heard at night, all the stars come down from the sky and make your dreams come true.
Don't miss Cool Kids Summer with special savings on theme park tickets and now even more magical fun.
You ready?
Alfred!
Would you like to play Hiccup in the movie?
Mom, do you hear that?
Seeing this world come to life.
It's really cool.
Oh, this is amazing!
Soaring to Life, the making of How to Train Your Dragon, Friday on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Don't miss How to Train Your Dragon in theaters June 13th.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel.
Good energy, good energy, good energy.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, everything that's wonderful is sure to come your way. When you're in love.
This is my favorite moment of the show. I always say, hello, Dad.
Hi. Welcome to America's Got Talent, the 20th anniversary season. I guess that's what this celebration is all about. What's your name? Oh no. Choose a color. Blue. Hold it, grab it. Okay. Pull the string hard. Now.
Record.
Choose color pink. This is hard. Ah, nice eyes.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hi. And boom!
Boom, what? Sorry, I swore.
It's harder to tell what's real and what's artificial. But when it comes to soda, it's easy. Zevia is a naturally delicious soda with zero artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, and zero sugar. Zevia, time to get that fake out of here.
From coast to coast, whether you're in Atlanta, Los Angeles, or anywhere across the U.S., we're here to support you every step of the way. Trust ABC Financial Group to manage all your accounting and tax needs with professionalism and a personal touch.
At Market Street, being local isn't just where we are, it's who we are. We're proud to work with trusted partners like Andes, who pour their passion into every step of their products, from the bottling process down to production at the dairy. Working side by side with local producers is at the heart of what we do, because we share a story of local pride and deep roots in the communities we serve. Market Street, where freshness and value meet, right here at home. At United Supermarkets, being local isn't just where we are, it's who we are. We're proud to work with trusted partners like Andes, who pour their passion into every step of their products, from the bottling process down to production at the dairy. Working side by side with local producers is at the heart of what we do, because we share a story of local pride and deep roots in the communities we serve. United Supermarkets, where freshness and value meet, right here at home. At Amigos, being local isn't just where we are, it's who we are. We're proud to work with trusted partners like Andes, who pour their passion into every step of their products, from the bottling process down to production at the dairy. Working side by side with local producers is at the heart of what we do, because we share a story of local pride and deep roots in the communities we serve. Amigos, where freshness and value meet, right here at home.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Texas. There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Colorado. There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Kansas.
Hey everyone! Hurricanes are large storms that can span hundreds of miles